one of the things about physique, working out, and fitness, genetics plays into it a little bit, but it's not something that you're just gifted. Don't bounce. No. He's already here trying to take
That's the only reason Charles is fit.
See, Andre is back here messing with me, so I had to give a little of the, hey.
Well,
Terry Crews over here.
That's something that's not gifted, though. When you see someone, they didn't just wake up like that. That's the result of persistence, hard work, and everything. Why is fitness so important?
If you look good, you feel good, it's everything. I've been in the last 5 years, I've been in my absolute worst shape I've ever been, and I've been in the best shape that I've ever been. I can tell you that there's a big difference between those two guys and what those two guys were doing in all other areas of his life. Fitness is probably one of the biggest areas that overlaps in all the others. Your energy level, that confidence goes over into your business, your career, your relationships. I mean, it's the foundation of everything. If you don't have your health, there's nothing. And there's those that focus on fitness for just the health aspect. I think all of us here kind of take it to that next level of not just wanting to be healthy, but wanted to really see what we're truly capable of and what our potential is. But man, to me, it's confidence. Walking into a boardroom, walking into a networking event, walking to any type of business environment, and you're fit, you feel good. It's a game changer, complete game changer, and it's a prime example for those around you of your discipline. And to me, that's crucial, is for people to know that you have discipline. Not to just completely call out the out of shape people that are watching, but if you can't take care of your body, why am I going to believe that you can take care of my money? Or why am I going to believe that you can take care of whatever it is that you're saying that you're going to do for me in a sales process or a customer service process or an entrepreneurial environment? If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of anything else? It's crazy.
You saw the daily bread, here's the new recipe. You can expect to see more transparency. 5,000 six-figure earners, it's success to me. Giving the best of me, my living legacy.
You said about how I was depressed when I was in the worst shape of my life. I had been battling through a really bad divorce. Was drinking way too much during that period of time. Was kind of spiraling out of control. Went through that divorce, and it's so funny when you talk about what was the inspiration? What was the motivation to get back in shape? Very easy. I was now trying to date again. I needed to look good without my shirt off. Plain and simple, like that. Literally, all of a sudden I was like, oh crap, I'm not married anymore, and I am disgusting. No one is gonna want to get with this. And it was literally just being real with myself. I'm like, this is not good. We got to do something about this fast. And I lost 50 pounds. I went from 272 to 220. And literally right after I got to right in the 220, I met my now wife. And it is so funny because we were talking about this a while back. And someone asked her, so what if you would have seen this before picture laying by the pool? 'Cause we met at the pool. We literally met at the pool. It was the other lofts, the lofts of Greenville. We met at the pool. He's like, what if this would have been laying out by the pool versus this? And she very flat out, and I don't blame her, was just we wouldn't be talking, right? We wouldn't be sitting here. And not that it was some shallow thing, but out at the pool with your shirt off, that first conversation that was sparked to us hanging out that night, it is what it is. So for me, literally my motivation was I'd like to look good naked.
Yeah.
Again. And it wasn't pretty. So we gotta make some changes.
Maybe that's true, 'cause I can't stop thinking about you.
know, it's very interesting. About 4.5 years ago, I jumped into ketone education. My dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I did like just about any son would do, and I Googled, how do you help someone with Alzheimer's? And I ran across a book called Alzheimer's, What If There Was a Cure? The Story of Ketones by a lady named Dr. Mary Newport, who I would say is largely responsible for why you go to the grocery store and find coconut oil on the shelf.
Oh, wow.
She treated her husband, Steve, with high levels of coconut oil because it contains high levels of MCT, medium chain triglycerides, which easily convert into an energy molecule called ketones. And so kind of dove in, studied that for, gosh, now the last 4.5 years, and become kind of an educator in that area. You know, Tyler, I'll be honest, there's so much misinformation. Like you just said, you know, a couple of years ago it was paleo. Yeah. Now it's keto. You just throw keto on
Atkins before that, I guess.
Yep. And like, I just hold to this premise. The only diet that works is the one that you'll do. You know, and so many people miss the sustainability component, right? Sound nutrition isn't very sound if you can't sustain it. You know, this right here, carnivore, that's a popular term right now. Can someone sustain it long term? Some people maybe. I don't think the masses likely can. So if we just look at ketogenic, ketone generating diets, the irony is it was never designed as a body composition diet. It's a century old, was designed to treat refractory epilepsy in children who didn't respond to pharmaceuticals to treat seizures. Wow. So there's foundations set up around this premise that higher fat, lower carb, removing sugar, I call it the 3 Ps, process, package, and preserved foods. If we can remove those from the diets, I think we can make some ground and introduce people to different ways. Ketogenic is certainly one of them. I'm a big believer in different and various metabolic tools. One might be fasting extended. One might be intermittent fasting. One might be ketone supplementation, which is now a very real nutrition technology. Like you, low carb, higher fat, higher protein. Some people, that might not fit the context of their lifestyle. Again, going back to the only diet that works is the one you'll do. And I think that's where I stand.
A ketogenic diet works because if I think about, man, I would love to have pizza for dinner tonight.
Yep.
But when I have to go through that process of, okay, I could eat the pizza, I'm gonna be out of ketosis, it's gonna take me 3-4 days to get back in, I'm gonna feel like crap tomorrow morning. Just the 5 seconds, you know, Mel Robbins talks about that 5-second rule, just that 5 seconds of me contemplating the negative side effects of having that cheat meal, I'm like, I don't really want that bad. And so it enables me to stay in longer and to be more strict because of that all-in aspect. Where if it was just a low calorie or low fat or some of like your older school methodology, I don't think that I would have that much restraint.
Yep.
Because I'm having to think about this. Okay, it's going to take me it took me days to get into this. It's going to take me days to get back into it just by this one stupid meal. It's not worth it. I think that's a big thing. And that may be mental. But if it's mental, don't tell me it is because it's working.
No. Here's what it is. And I follow you and I live and breathe a lot of what you preach and teach. But think about it this way. There's 2 very important words. Discouragement. In work, in marriage, in life, in dieting. When you're discouraged, it's easy to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about is, man, I don't want to be discouraged knowing what's coming after that cheat meal or that pizza. However, there's a very opposite important word, and that is progress.
Yeah.
You know, this is a 5-pound model of white adipose tissue, also known as the squishy white stuff around love handles or back fat or butt fat. And it's my hypothesis, there's tens of thousands of people that have fat loss success that's never realized. Let me explain. I think this is important when it comes to sustainability. Water weighs something. It's a non-caloric essential nutrient. How many people have listened to their trainer and said, hey, don't look at the scale, base it on how your clothes fit. I've said that for decades.
Sure.
However, would my clothes fit any different if I lost this, but it was replaced by 5 pounds of water for a period of time? So there's this water whoosh phenomena that literally your fat cells don't disappear unless you get liposuction.
Yeah.
But they do shrink. Unfortunately, for the vast majority of people, before they shrink, they fill with water. So someone may have lost 5 pounds, but 21 days later, 27 days later, 42 days later, the scale doesn't say anything different. Their clothes don't fit any different. They throw in the towel and they don't trust science. And so what we try to do and preach and teach is just look, calories matter, quality of food matters, patience matters. And so if you follow our system, if you find what works for you, just be patient and that fat loss will be realized. So I think there's literally tens of thousands of people that have lost this but never realized it and began eating again because they got discouraged. They didn't see progress.
At some point in time, we all had to start. What is the worst shape you've ever been in your life? Which I don't know if Charles ever didn't have abs.
It's all genetics, remember?
You probably came out the womb with like 4 already good to go. But what's the worst shape you've been in your life?
He came out and was jump roping with the umbilical cord.
Looking at the doctor, it's your set.
Don't ever smack me again.
I have sworn all my life that I don't even have a metabolism. That I only burn calories while working out. Like I just always felt that way. And I used to just get so mad with people like you that you're saying like I was always skinny. Like people have metabolisms that are like I'm having to force myself to eat. I'm like, kidding me? Like I can think about eating a carb right now and start bloating. And that used to always frustrate me because that was a struggle. It was always a struggle. It's been a struggle in my family. It's a struggle for me. But it's like, okay, it is what it is, and just got to put in a little bit more work. And I think for the longest time, I tried to outwork a bad diet. For the longest time, like forever, I would work out hard enough to be able to eat whatever I wanted. And the final realization that it's just impossible. You cannot outwork a bad diet. And it sucks, but but you can. And once things changed in the kitchen, man, it was just like game over.
Come on! Don't go out, right there, start right there. Don't touch that knee. Stop and go by halfway, give me half one. Up. Saw knee. Up. Up. Up.